smoking still, but now she only does light. She's swinging her arms, she's like a satellite. I'm taking the blows, I always said that I did. I'm singing along, cause I'm the satellite kid. She's back on the juice and says she's doing alright. Got me wearing her clothes, they feel a little tight. I'm flat on my back and looking up at the
to Zwifty Chat.
Good evening, legends, and welcome to episode 7 of Zwifty Chat. We've got an absolutely packed show. We wasn't particularly packed last week, and we went on for 2.5 hours, so Lord knows what we're going to do tonight. But we have not Tadej Pogacar. He's not Tadej Pogacar, but he is the man, the myth, the legend, who is Olly WINS. Welcome, Olly. How the devil are you, sir?
Oh, I'm absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Rob. What an introduction.
Well, you're just one of my favourite people, and I found out a secret bit of information which we shan't tell anyone else, which made you even one of my more favourite people. Just before this.
Well, it's lovely to be here.
Sorry.
Lovely to be here. So nice to be on the show alongside two legends. Yeah.
Oh, what? You've got people in the room with you?
Oh no!
Bring him in. Bring him in.
And how are you doing, Ben?
I'm doing pretty good. I got my Zwift players last night, so I'm finally one of the rest of you. Cheats.
Did you have to import them, or are they now on sale in Australia?
Yeah. I got them on sale, but they don't sell them in Australia, so I had to get one of my friends in the UK to buy them and then ship them to me. So it still cost a bloody lot, but yeah.
I'm pretty sick about the sale thing because I bought 2 sets at the supposedly reduced price of £99 for them only to be half price now. So a little bit annoyed about that. They'll have won lots of races by using them.
Yeah, I think they've gone back up to £100 again. I think.
Have they?
When I checked, I think I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it was a limited time.
Right, maybe it was a mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, they sold too many.
But we'll talk about it later on. But I actually found maybe it's the new pack dynamics because I found it was very different and felt similar to Indy Velo. Actually, it reminded me of Indy Velo. Some of the things that was happening. So we'll talk about it hopefully talk about this episode in less than 2 hours' time.
Yeah, we have got stacks to talk about. We've got talking about coaching because Olly has a coach. We're going to talk about how brilliant Olly is because he won a ZRL race.
No.
We're going to talk about hard things, which have been very much an issue. I think with all of us this week to some degree, other than my heart is absolutely fine. It seems to be perfect. Tour de Zwift. I put on the trailer that it was Tour of Watopia because I was just guessing. You'd be surprised how much I guess about stuff that I say. But I guessed that it was Tour of Watopia when it's actually Tour de Zwift coming up. So it's that. We're going to talk about weight doping, which we might disagree on. And the ZRL Route Competition, which we're also definitely going to disagree on. So yeah, it's going to be a fight later on. I think it's going to be like proper to do, and then everyone can agree on FRR and how brilliant it is. So shall we get cracking? So since we last talked, Olly, you've become brilliant. What's been going on?
Define brilliant. Define brilliant because I don't know. I still.
Okay, I'll tell you what I think is brilliant is that when we last talked, we looked at one of your races and you were all over the spot. You didn't stay in the draft. You got backwards and forwards all over the spot. You seem to have got. Well, I tell you what, shall we watch a little bit of your video as well? Whilst we can talk over it because I hope I didn't put sound on. I don't think I did. But Oh, we've just seen the result before it starts, but never mind. But this is your ZRL race. What that you won? So it was the really mountainous one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, so I would say that I had a bit of time off, and then I got my coaching on. I'd had enough, basically. I'd had enough of being pretty average, and every video that I was doing was kind of like, oh, I was good, but this happened, or I'd place highly in a race because there was no one in it. So
that's the best way.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something about it. Got a coach, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit. But I really like, one of the things I wanted to do on Zwift was win a ZRL race, and this one I was just I don't know, I was just super happy with it. You know, everything just went right on the day. The tactics were really good, and to be fair, I got a load of advice from people commenting on a video previous where I'd done pretty poorly, using the power in the wrong places. And yeah, this, as I say, like it was just such a great one to win. And I know this might sound a bit sad, but I sometimes just watch this back with a little tear in my eye, and I'm like, that is beautiful. no. But now I don't know. It was I don't know. It really made all of the kind of long coaching sessions and the long efforts and all of the training just worthwhile. But I would say like the difficult thing after this was then like, where do I go next from this? Like I've done what I said I wanted to do. What's my next? Like, what's the next challenge? This was just
the advantage of being rubbish. If you never reach your goals, then you've already, you can keep going from. But at what point did it feel like you had enough? Because you got like 2 minutes lead here, but we're like, oh, you must feel confident now. But
right now, felt like it was going to happen. But going through the jungle, you know, there's as you come down the epic, and then you go back up towards the kind of pens, just, you know, the Alp pens kind of thing. Just there, I thought, right, you have to push here. If you push then through the jungle a little bit at the bottom of then that last little Mayan KOM, I think it is. Just there, I was like, okay, you probably got it now. So
you did have 2 minutes at that stage.
Yeah, no, I know.
You can never trust those. You can never trust the number though, because sometimes it says 2 minutes and then it's on it changes, and so you're never quite sure.
Yeah, but that was pretty awesome, man. But yeah, we didn't actually show it. I don't know why, just because I didn't. But there was lots of bits before that where you were just taking the draft and sitting nicely, and you know, patience, and it's so much about, especially with those climbs where you've got, you know, it's you could make a go for it, couldn't you? And little, you know, but you showed the discipline that's required of a top level Zwifter.
I didn't see where the attack was made. Where was or did you just sort of slowly grind away from everyone?
Yeah, so I wanted to be with kind of the main bunch at the halfway point of the climb before the kind of grade. And then all I did, I mean, I was kind of near enough. I think I was top 10 at that point. And then I thought, right, I'm just going to put down as much as I can up that little grade. And if I've got over 30 seconds, then I'm just going to keep going. And it was just a really funny day because the legs just felt so good. I don't know whether it was because I had a decent amount of carbs at lunchtime, or I don't think I got a Deliveroo that day, but it was, I don't know, just everything felt just like perfect going up this bit. And mentally, because like a lot of the time it's mental, isn't it? Like a mental challenge. I think at this point, having like the little gap, I was just looking at the gap rather than the watts, and I was like, keep going, Ollie, just keep going. And
I've never had the pleasure of on a climb. Usually I'm like, oh God, the gap's growing. My legs feel terrible.
Watching the other way, He's no longer in the mini map. It's more than a minute, you know. The other way. Yeah, is it? I have had good days, and you try and replicate. Right, okay, I ate a sandwich and had it at 9 o'clock. Therefore, I will eat another. You know, the next. I'll just try and replicate everything so I can have another good day like that. And then it's just rubbish. Just, you know, what is, you know.
But the hardest thing when you have good leg days is not riding too much, because you're like, oh, I've got such good legs, I've got to race everything.
Yeah,
and then you just drive yourself to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But having a coach, having a coach, does that mean you do far less racing now?
Yeah, I mean, at first, well, I'll start from the beginning. So I had a 2 week, well, no, it was just about a 5 day holiday. I've got ill again when I went to Vegas. I always get ill when I go to Vegas. I don't know what it is. So I'm going to keep going back until I eventually don't get ill.
that sounds like a great plan. Keep going.
Yeah. So yeah, came back from that and I was just, felt awful. So I think I had about maybe 20-ish days off the bike. And yeah, I thought, I'm going to need to do something different. I want to rebuild the fitness. My like zone 2 heart rate at that point when I got back on the bike was just ridiculously high. So yeah, Costa at the NRC team, he's a really, really nice bloke. He kind of approached me and said, look, do you want to kind of do a bit of a training program? And I thought, I've never done anything like this before. I've never been, structured and finished an actual training plan properly. So I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to commit to it. I've not got anything going on outside of work because, I have got a job that I do a lot of hours. So I thought I'm just going to stick to it. And yeah, I did do, I would say, kind of the first 4 weeks, definitely less Zwift racing, which was difficult because I really enjoy the racing. Like, I really enjoy it. But Costa was like, we're going to build you, like a base fitness level again, first of all, and then we'll progress on to like the VO2 stuff and the threshold stuff. And yeah, I basically just followed that. And then I did have to say to him, I said, look, I do miss the racing. Can I do at least one race a week just to keep my hat in? Otherwise, you know what it's like. Even with training, I think if you don't do the Zwift racing, it's a different kind of fitness, isn't it? I think. So yeah. Then I said to, like, we kind of mixed in like a plan. So I said to him, look, one of my goals is I want to increase my FTP to, well, actually I said I want to do 300 watts for 20 minutes. I've never done that. I'm still yet to do that. So that's kind of the next thing. But I also want to win a ZRL race. And we kind of, every bit of training kind of led up to that. And there are a few times where I said, look, you're not going to be at peak fitness right now. It might take a few more weeks, which kind of took the pressure off the actual Zwift race as well, which was nice. And yeah, eventually got the win. And I know it's like a Zwift C race. And for some people that might not be like an achievement, but I loved it. It was, something that I set a goal and I did it. So yeah, really, really, really happy.
Oh, I'm going to try Kaboom, but it might come up as a sandwich instead because these things aren't named. But, oh, there we go. There's Kaboom. Nice one, man. Yeah, I've yet to win a regular season ZRL race, so that's still on my bucket list. So,
but Rob, you have won quite a considerable amount of races.
Not lately, but yeah. Oh, I tell you what, I did a race this week. It was a Monday or something, and I don't know if it's Zwift Racing Score, but it was a lunchtime race as well, so it wasn't one of my weird like 4 o'clock in the morning ones. So it was lunchtime UK race, Z race, usually well populated, and there were 8 people in the pens, so that's pretty poor. Normally you'd expect 20 to 30, and so 8 people, and it was the loop-to-loop one. So you start off on the pier. What is the beach start or whatever they call it, downtown Watopia. And by the time we got to the end of the pier, there was only 3 of us racing. There's like 5 of them, like just sat back, just doing 2 watts per kilogram sort of thing. By the time we got to the banner, the other guy who I do know, who's a good racer, is A-Cat in the pace category thing. He gave up. He was like, "Oh, I'm not doing this." 3 people racing. And by the time we got to the top of the ramp, I dropped the other guy. So I was on my own. And the funny thing was, there was I think the other 5 were trying to get last place for 4 of them were trying to get last place because to sandbag their Zwift Racing Score, but the 5th one was a lady who doesn't race much, and she's like proper E-cat. E-cat. She's like, most she's ever done is 2 watts per kilogram. So she was riding like, as she normally does. I think she'd been doing like Tour of Watopia, and she'd be doing the B rides. And she joined this race thinking, "Oh, why is it not Tour of Watopia anymore? I'll join the B pen." And of course, they all wanted to just like cruise round at 3 watts per kilogram, but she was like steadfastly doing 2. They were, "Oh, come on." I want to lose the race, but I'm not that committed.
Yeah, I was going to say, was it a race to last place? And then just
Well, the race to last place was far more competitive than the race for first place, which was over by the first bend. But she just cruised around at 2 watts per kilogram, and eventually the other was like, "Oh, okay, I'm not going to get last place."
Yeah. That's what makes winning a ZRL race so hard, is it? Especially in the lower categories like the Bs and the Cs, you can get 100 races, and they're not just making up the numbers. There's 90 of them are all pretty close to the cat limits. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think.
No, go on, Ben.
Yeah, so I think winning a C and a B cat race, actually, there's a few people that usually clean up all the races because they've got the massive sprint or something. So it's actually quite difficult to pull a win out in that. In the A cat, obviously, it's easier if you're an absolute beast. But I've won one A cat, but it was basically. It was a sprint finish, and I just timed the sprint perfectly. I think if you look at the results, I did like 200 watts less than about 10 other people in the sprint, but I just had the momentum, and that's the only race I've ever won for ZRL.
Yeah, well, ACAT, that's pretty impressive, man.
I mean, like, I do think. Sorry, I was going to say, I do think there's a lot of like people that are on that like cusp of C and B. I would love to be a Cat A. Like, I really would. If I had the power, I would absolutely love it. And I just can't. I don't really understand
until you go there.
Okay, in my head, I'd want to be a Cat A, but probably not. But yeah, it's a tricky one because when I lose fitness, if I don't ride for a little while, I can barely win a C. Like, I can barely win a C race with not many people, I would say. But when the fitness improves, I would say that I'm probably I can get up to a mid B. So it's a bit of a tricky one, and I would always try and race like the highest that I possibly can. If it means that the goal is not to finish last in the B race, and so be it. But I'd rather do that and push myself than just winning C all the time. It just doesn't.
Yeah, I definitely prefer winning. It's fun. I honestly don't get it. I don't get it why people are like, "Oh yeah, I like racing up." I'm like, no, I like winning.
No, I love it. Like my trajectory into ACAT was because I already rode a lot outdoors. So when I started Zwift, I was a B cat rider, but I was doing a couple of the Australian cycling events, and I was finishing top 10 in B cat like for 3 or 4 races, and these were big fields, strong fields. I was like, I think I should be moving up to ACAT. And the races in ACAT, they were hard, but at the same time, they were kind of easier because ACAT racing is different than BCAT. ACAT, they chill. When it's chilled, it's chilled. There's none of these idiots pushing, as hard as they can off the front. It's basically, okay, it's flat. No one's going to break away. Let's just chill, relax. But then when it gets hard, that's when it gets super hard.
Yeah.
So I actually enjoyed racing in ACAT more. But with this new ZRS score, I realized, because I did a CCAT race, obviously being slow now, and a lot of people complain, but to me, it reminded me of an ACAT race where if you're not a strong ACAT rider, you just basically hang on when the bits get really hard. Some of the riders have got 2 watts per kilo more than you at that time, and you just get blown out the back door. Whereas in CCAT previously, everyone was quite similar.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the big issues that the lower cats are having with ZRS score at the moment is there's a big difference between watts per kilo. And so it's like an ACAT race now where things can just get blown apart, the smithereens on like the Helicom.
I mean, I was racing someone today who had, I think it was like 5.4, 20 minutes, something like that, but really light, not much of a sprint. And I think it was maybe she would have stood no chance in an A race, just no chance.
Yeah.
In virtually every A race, she would have had no chance at all. But now she's in a B-cut race with some hills, stands a chance.
Yeah.
She didn't win, as it happens, but, because I sprinted out the gate to try and make sure she was dropped. Make sure she was dropped right out of the gate.
Rob. Did either of your scores change a lot recently in the update?
It depends when you looked. Mine went up like 100 points and down 100 points. But I think it was still calculating. My floor was like 520 and then it went down to 300 and something.
That's crazy. Mine was 520. 520. It went down to 429, which I thought was.
Is that where it finished up at? After
Yeah, 429. Yeah, weird.
I'm actually, I'm on
Do you
my
have a
floor at the
relatively
moment
poor
because
5 minutes then, or
Say again.
Ollie? Sorry, do you have a relatively poor 5 minutes compared to your 10 minutes or something?
I would probably say, that is my weakness, is my 5 minute power, definitely.
Well, that's what they say correlates well with race performance.
winning Zwift races, but it depends on.
It'll help you go down a category.
I'm working on it. I'm working on the 5 minute power. I think with some of the B races, the ZRL B races, I think the 5 minute power is so important. I just getting dropped because I'm not very good at that. I'm okay with a sprint. Give me a sprint. I'm okay.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm not very good at 20 minutes as well. So
yeah, it's the biking stuff that gets me as well. Basically, anything that involves turning the pedals for a long period of time. But no, your power up that mountain, I couldn't have kept you up that mountain. No chance. Absolutely.
that's what I'm saying. I was surprised. I was surprised that day that happened. But yeah.
So what are the mechanics? What are the mechanics of this coaching? How does it work, Ollie? Tell us all about it.
So Costa will, on a weekly basis, set me up with firstly, he'll ask me if I got anything on this week in terms of work or if I've got any after school events kind of thing.
Oh, so do you pretend that you're really busy and you can't do much
No. And he's pretty good with adjusting it as well. Because normally what I say is, completely clear this week. And then midweek, I'll be like, look, I forgot about this at the weekend. Can you change it, please? And he's very much like, yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. He'll send me the plan at the start of the week. Sometimes just a week in advance, sometimes a couple of weeks in advance. And then, a lot of it is, I would say most of it, at the weekend, is kind of zone 2, with a bit of threshold thrown in. I said to him, I had to say to him, I find it really difficult to do anything over 2 hours on the bike, on the trainer. For me, I want to make sure that I'm enjoying it as well. I don't want to get to a stage where I'm finding it to be a chore, because if I do that, then it will just completely turn me off. So I just, as I said to him, 2 hours maximum, if okay.
So the mechanics of it. So does he look at your output as well, or Strava, or what's he doing?
So it's all on Training Peaks. So he will send me the plan on Training Peaks. And then after the ride, I have to comment on it, how difficult it was, how did I find it? So I'll put felt really good, or was terrible, legs feel really bad, and then give it kind of a rating out of 10. He'll then kind of change the plan depending on how I'm feeling. But once again, he's good with if you're feeling rubbish, then it's okay to take a day off. He's very flexible, or the training is very flexible like that. But as I said, I really enjoy Zwift racing. I really enjoy it. So for me to kind of continue on this whole training program, it's been as enjoyable, but in a different way. Could I go back to Zwift racing? Yeah, definitely. But I know that this is way better for me. The other thing that I would say is that, and this is completely just gone out of my head, I find the actual training side of it and the nutrition side of it really, really helpful. So he'll say to me, in terms of what I'm meant to eat during the day. So he'll say, make sure you stack up on your carbs 2 hours before, recommend stuff for that. He doesn't give me the full, a full nutrition plan, but he will prompt me into, what I should be eating before the race and then after the race.
So I've always thought, I'd like your thoughts on it, but that something like that, paying for a trainer, a coach, and that kind of thing, that half the benefit comes from just being disciplined, having a discipline. You know what I mean? Okay, I've paid for this. He said do this, so I better just do it. Whereas, because I just like do what's fun.
100%, yeah, 100%. That for me, I really do get lazy as well, and like especially with work, like I'll finish work and I'll be like, do you know what? I just want to sit on the sofa and just eat some food and just chill out. But knowing that I've got something to do, I'm like, I cannot just sit here. I've got to go and do it. It's like someone holding me to account. It's really beneficial for me, just because that's the sort of person that I am. I kind of need someone telling me, Ollie, go and do this. So that is one of the main.
I mean, that's why I got married, because my life was chaos until I got married and I had someone telling me what to do. I was just like drifting around. Same sort of thing, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's also why I got married as well.
So the other thing too is having a coach is if you do fall off, like say if you miss a couple of sessions or you feel rubbish, your coach can then say, okay, that's okay. Like you haven't ruined everything. You don't need to stress out. Like a lot of people will do, like they'll do the Zwift sort of coaching, like structured training plan. They'll get through 3 or 4 of them and then miss a few and then just completely stop doing them because they thought, oh, it doesn't matter anymore. I've bucketed it up. Whereas having a coach will say, no, it's fine. I'll just swap things around. You're still on track. And just being that helpful sort of voice in your head to say, no, it's fine. Just keep going. Everything's good.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things about having a coach. And you see all the time in people talking about performance gains and things. People spend thousands of dollars. Like they'll spend $200 on a seat, and we're going to talk about seats later on. $200 on a seat to be like 10 grams lighter. But you can go and spend $200 on a coach, and you'll get so much faster. So the bang for the buck on having a coach, if you're concerned about performance rather than just looks, is probably one of the best things you can do in cycling.
Yeah.
And I'll put the link in the description. I'm sure lots of people have asked me where I can get a coach. I'm like, do I look like I've got a coach? I'm racing twice a day or not at all. Is that something a coach would advise? I don't think so. If I can find a coach,
the last thing too,
who just
Ollie, you mentioned you get it in training. Yeah, you get it in Training Peaks. So do you do your workouts in Zwift, or are you using the new Training Peaks virtual?
Zwift. Yeah, Zwift. Yeah. So, I mean, I've never used Training Peaks before working with Costa. So yeah, downloaded it. And I mean, it doesn't cost anything to have the actual Training Peaks like app and for him to ping the workouts across. But I mean, I liked what Indie Velo were doing, but I'm just too hooked into Zwift. And I do think, I mean, it's the same with my whoosh as well. And like, I think they're great alternatives. I really do. And actually, like, I feel like Ruvy's being pushed a lot at the moment. I see like a lot of adverts on like Facebook and stuff, and a lot of like, so I listened to the Geraint Thomas podcast, and he's now kind of doing group rides on Ruby instead of Zwift, because he used to do like a GTCC ride on Zwift. So I might give Ruby a little try, but I know it's very different to Zwift. I'm always going to be a Zwift fanboy. Like that's just how it is. I love it, and for all its bad things, I don't know. I'd be really upset if I couldn't Zwift. But yeah. So sorry, to answer your original question, Zwift.
Yeah, I know I don't say it very often, but I do love Zwift. I mean, it brought me back from the depths of desperation. I did it myself a bit, but it was just, and it's such a lovely community, and I know all the roads, and
I think that's, for me, it's the hardest thing about changing from Zwift is the community, because I love riding on Indie Velo, but it's like, oh, this would be great if there's a community from Zwift was on it, because that even though Zwift looks good, like cartoony, but that's what I like, and like the physics look good. Yeah. The physics look good, but the community is the biggest thing about Zwift. That's what makes Zwift, I think.
Okay, should we have a brief foray into I wasn't planning on doing so, but let's be spontaneous, and the pack dynamics that you've noticed, because I haven't noticed anything. I just haven't noticed.
So, but have you been doing races? Because I did the map tour, which is just a group ride. So I think maybe the Pack Dynamics is only open. I know it's for the free world, but I'm not sure. Maybe the chat knows it, because I was riding along, and I've got the steering now, but I've noticed that the riders all sort of fidget around a lot more. And you know how when you are trying to overtake and you get sort of put into the group and you get stuck. Yeah. Now, seems like if you're trying to overtake, it pushes you out to the side so you can ride around the group. But the biggest difference was when I was riding with a couple of riders, if I steered to the right, it would quickly steer me back to the person behind me's wheel. So the person behind would constantly get my draft unless I deliberately steered away.
You back into them?
Yeah, steered me back. So I don't know whether that's a new thing for the Pack Dynamics, or because I've never had steering, but I've never been riding behind a steering rider, and they steer back in front of my wheel to give me a wheel. I noticed that this time.
I do that to people. I am quite nice to people. If I want them in my breakaway, then I do that.
Yeah, but you've got to deliberately do it. You got to choose it. Whereas this, I was like, I steer around the corner, and then it will quickly push me back in. Within like a second, it'd push me back towards the other rider to give the other rider draft. So I was noticing just the Pack Dynamics is slightly different. It could just be hard steering, but I think the new draft, so the riders who don't have steering will automatically steer into a rider's draft, or maybe as it does with me, it pushes me back to them unless I deliberately keep holding down the steering.
I was trying to tell if that was happening in my race today, because I tried to do the same thing, breakaway before the S's again on the first little climb, but it was against 30 races, and 2 people came with me, and I was like, right, because the big thing I mentioned last week, I would want to be solo on the S's, but these 2 people made it up to me. I was like, okay, cool, I've got some people with me, I'll still do my thing on the S's where I take the shortest line, and hopefully they'll just be in my draft, so I've got breakaway riders and some friends to help me, but it didn't seem to be. I mean, maybe because I'm, on the S's, you really, to keep the shortest line, you're steering a lot. You got steering on.
But no, it's because of my setup. No, I've run an Apple TV, and I really don't want to. All right, don't look at it like that.
Weirdo. Why are you on Apple TV?
Apologies. But no, I don't really want to run it through my companion app. I don't know. So I was debating on getting a new trainer so I could directly connect that to the Wi-Fi, and then I could run the Zwift, whatever it is, controller clicky.
Yeah, well, if you're just doing boring training anyway, you don't really need it, do you? And ZRL.
Exactly. I don't know. I do miss it though. There are times where I'm like, I wish I could kind of steer and stay behind that person that's just gone. But I don't know. Maybe in the future I'll change it up.
The new Pack Dynamics, they'll fix that anyway. Yeah, they'll put you in behind that rider supposedly anyway. So. You don't need it.
So my £200 will have been completely wasted. Oh, right, great. Rob's paid for it, so we'll get the advantage as well. Oh, that's super. Lovely.
Well, you still can't steer and take the shortcut, but it just means that, because the most annoying thing about not having steering, especially with the tiny races, there'd be like a long lineup of steerers all out to the right.
Yeah.
And then the halves nots are out to the left, just getting hung out to dry.
Peasants and Australians to the left.
I'll tell you what else I'm missing out on because of the Apple TV, and that is Source as well. Is Source actually helpful, or is it just no?
No, I don't think so anymore. No, we've barely talked about it actually, but since the map thing, if that gets rolled out across all worlds, I mean, I often forget that. I forget it.
I never used that in Source anyway, Rob.
What, the map?
Yeah, I never used the map. Like, I remember you talked about the map, and I was like, I opened it up. I was like, yeah, I just don't bother. But it depends how much you know the course.
Yeah, New York. I never know where I never know where I am anyway. Like, as you know, with my recon this week, I was like, what? How can you go around here and still be on the hilly comb? That makes no sense.
Going up the forward hilly reverse scale.
Yeah, the forward, reverse. I just guess. I don't know. People expect
a few
me to know
seasons
stuff.
ago.
I'm meant to know stuff.
Yeah. I think maybe 2 years ago, I just spent hours riding around New York in zone 2, just so I knew where the hell I was. Like I probably spent 20 hours just riding around New York. So like, okay, now this is this park and that's that park. And that's the other park. When I'm on this bit of glass, I'm at the other end, not the hill.
It's all Central Park, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but that's why it's so confusing because everything looks the same. You go around to the right-hand turn and you think, okay, I'm going to be hitting this hilly KOM now. And it's like, oh, no, I'm at the other end. Because, but I never found maps useful. The thing I like with Source is just showing the draft, but you kind of know where the draft is. But it's nice when you're descending and you're like, okay, I'd had to pedal here because I've got 400 watts draft.
That's the only thing that you've got to still work on, Ollie, I think, is like how little you have to pedal going downhill.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I'm going to get dropped. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's where all of my not all of my efficiency savings, like half of mine come from compared to other people, is just not pedaling down hills, especially if you're in a group. But even if you're solo, really, I don't know if it's a fault with the game or that I'm exploiting, but the modulating power thing, like compared up hills compared to downhills, really.
Yeah.
And that's why. Oh, should we talk about? We've got so much to talk about. Oh, we've only done 25 minutes. We've got plenty.
Yeah,
we've got loads of time. Tons of time.
Next topic.
Okay. Sorry. Did anyone else? What were we talking about? What was the
With players?
That isn't even on the list. That wasn't on the list.
New pack dynamics, which is I'm diverting here. Yeah, you started it. Get back on the list, Rob.
Right, I've got a list. I'm going to get organised. Right, hard stuff, serious stuff. So, you crack us off. Sorry, you start us off, Ollie. Hard stuff.
So so I like to think that I'm reasonably healthy. I'm not, I'm a pretty good weight for my height and all of that. But
you're an attractive-looking man, so I would think.
Please.
You're quite healthy.
So I had an annual health assessment just through my wife's work actually. Once a year through Bupa. Other health providers are out there. Yeah, probably. Okay. They do all they take your bloods, they get your cholesterol, and they did an ECG on my heart. And whilst he was doing it, he was like, oh. And he was like, "Oh no, don't worry." He was like, he said, "Don't worry about it. No, that wasn't that. It was just something else." And I was like,
"Don't worry.
I'm just going to go and speak to my supervisor."
Just call in an ambulance.
Yeah. So after you have that little bit, you go in and see a doctor, and he looks at the results. So he took a look at the ECG and he went, "Look, it looks like you've got a right bundle branch block of your heart." And he goes, "Let me have a little listen." And he put his whatever it is to my heart, and he goes, "Oh, have you ever had a heart murmur or anything like that?" And I was like, "No, like I always, I've been pretty healthy my whole life pretty much." And he said, "Well, it sounds like you've got like a little bit of a heart murmur as well, so we're going to need to get that checked out pretty urgently." Which I'll be honest with you, that was it was after the ZRL race, and I was quite scared, if I'm honest with you. I was like, I could be doing some serious damage, like Zwifting and riding as hard as I ride and doing all this training, not knowing that I've got some underlying problem with my heart potentially. So I went to see a specialist, and he had a look at the ECG again. I had an echiogram as well, which is where they kind of look at the structure of the heart. Thankfully he said that the right bundle branch block is nothing to worry about, which was good. This particular heart specialist, he couldn't hear a heart murmur, so the echo was all fine. And there was a strange kind of little jump on the ECG, and he said, actually, that's not really anything to worry about. Because of the exercise you do, you're a young young, you're like pretty healthy, and you have got a healthy heart. But so I mean, that was like, it was a massive relief, and actually sort of stopped Zwifting for that week because I didn't want to do any further damage. But it just kind of like raises the point that you may think you're really, really healthy, and actually there could be something that, you know, potentially needs checking out. So it was just really to kind of raise that point. And, you know, if something feels like it's not quite right, then don't overdo it. Go and get it checked out. Go and see someone, and just make sure that you're all good at the end of the day, because the last thing anyone wants is for something to happen whilst you're kind of like, you know, enjoying yourself and pushing yourself as hard as possible. So I just wanted to kind of, you know, raise a bit of that awareness, really, that it can happen to anyone at the end of the day.
Yes, I have two things to say. So I will back up your point in that one of the Kaboom team members this week had to be taken to hospital after his ZRL race. Had to abandon, and only like 4Ks in as well. He got a weird reading and felt literally terrible, and his the heart readout thing was, you know, awful. So he was in there all night getting ECGs and tests and so on. But I'm glad he's survived, and apparently everything is okay. So yeah, and I think Zwift should look at, oh, my bloody camera's going out of focus, should look at like an emergency button, something like that. Do you think? So, you know, you put your details in of who you want to contact if you press the emergency button, and, you know, they get told. So my wife will get told, oh, Rob's pressed the emergency button.
A bit like a better version of what Garmin try and do on their head units. They do something, it's like an emergency thing when it feels like it happens all the time though. You're like, oh, this bloody Garmin, shut up. No, definitely I think that would be such a good idea. And yeah, I think it would definitely, you do hear these horror stories, and
yeah. So, do you want to tell your story, Ben? Your story?
Well, I've got my story, but just in terms of getting, like, no matter how fit you are and how, like, it can't happen to me. When I was very young, my stepdad was actually a very good runner. His sister was an Olympic, like, silver medalist in the marathon. He was racing in the Australian sort of top level scene, and his best mate was a very good runner. They got older, so he was 40 years old, his best mate, and he was running in the Australian mountain running championships. He was in the top 10. He was super fit. He won, I think, the year before, and he was in the event, and he literally had a heart attack on the trail and died. And they reckon he died before he even hit the ground. And so this is a guy who you'd meet in the street and think, dude, that guy's super fit, is strong as an ox, but he had an underlying heart condition. And his dad actually died very young as well from heart condition. And so basically he'd had tests, but there's kind of, with the heart, there's kind of a point where it goes, okay, everything's fine. But then genetically you start building up all those issues. And so, yeah, definitely if you do have a history of heart disease in your family, go and get checked out if you haven't already, just for peace of mind. And also for the fact that when you are racing on Zwift, just because you're getting fitter and losing weight does not mean that you're necessarily staving off heart issues. So yeah, do that. Now, getting on to my history about heart issues, I don't have structural heart issues. I have an electrical issue. When I was about 25, I got pretty overweight, but I started noticing that very occasionally I would just, for some reason, feel lightheaded. And at the time I didn't realize it, but my heart wasn't beating correctly. It'd go away like 10, 15 seconds later. And there was one stage, probably when I was about 30, I was playing tennis with my brother, and he was just laughing because I just suddenly lost all my fitness. Like, I was just struggling to play tennis, even though I'd sort of played a bit when I was younger. At the time I didn't realize it, but my heart again it was beating incorrectly. So the blood was pulling in the heart, not flowing through the body. And then another 10 years later, I eventually figured out what the issue was. But I had atrial fibrillation, which is very common. And actually, you probably had a bit of fibrillation, Ollie, when you had your test. That's what that little spike was. Yeah. And it's very common in people who are older. And the cardiologists actually just wave it off because they're used to looking at 70 and 80-year-olds who have lots of fibrillation just sitting on the couch. So you will develop that as you get older. But then I had a flutter, and the flutter was actually the thing that was just making me feel absolutely rotten, because fibrillation, you'll sort of get to your max heart rate and it will just, you might get like a 1-to-1 beat. So instead of 2-to-1, which means the blood gets pumped into the heart and then out of the heart, or just get pumped into the heart and just sit there and not go anywhere. And so I had a lot of times where I have 4 normal beats, then 1 2-to-1 beat, 1-to-1 beat. And then I had other things. But what I had was a flutter, which is actually extra pathway. So there was a electrical impulse being sent from the top of my heart to the bottom of my heart, which is actually creating, breaking the limit of my heart. So I was getting like 290 beats, 320 beats per minute. And the thing is, you lie down, you don't feel better. That's the big problem. Is usually like I'm lightheaded, I faint, I fall on the ground, you feel better. But when you get flutters and pretty bad fibrillation, if you lie on the ground, you're not going to recover. So that was something I had issues with. Eventually, like I was taking sotalol to help reduce it, and the sotalol works really well, but in terms of cycling, it's absolute rubbish. It's like taking the reverse of performance-enhancing drugs. My heart rate went from doing 195 beats per minute to 165 when I was absolutely sprinting. So you just lose all your top end. So I had that for about a year, and eventually I managed to get an ECG, which showed, okay, this is what I've got. I got a flutter. Then I got to wait for the operation, and eventually I had what they call an ablation. So it's quite a common operation. They do various different things with the same technique, but they basically send a wire up through your veins from your leg, like groin all the way up to your heart, and then they'll just burn with cold temperature the bit of the heart that's actually causing the issue. And then the next day, like I felt fine, groin hurt, but I think a week later I rode 320 kilometers or something. Not rising as hard as I could, but yeah, riding. Then it was about 3 or 4 months later, they eventually got taken off the medication. And when I got taken off the medication, I was like, wow, I'm so fast. Look at me go. Like I could do 190 beats per minute. It was like taking drugs.
Got an extra 2 gears, yeah.
Yeah, it was just amazing how like restricted I was. But so yeah, a lot of people do in cycling when they train a lot, they'll get atrial fibrillation. It's quite a common issue, and I think it was that pro cyclist that went across the line last year and basically almost needed like a cardiac assistance, or they might have even had cardiac assistance. I think it was very similar, because a lot of the times I'll get it, I'll do a max effort, and then when I actually rest, my heartbeat will then just go crazy, and I'll, instead of getting a normal heartbeat, it will just go all over the shop.
Wow.
And for me, I'll probably have to have another ablation probably in, I don't know how many years, but I'll definitely need to have it again, because I've just, my heart just will naturally create a new pathway at some stage.
Oh God, that's where I am.
Yeah.
My brother, who's a subscriber, hi Bri. I've just anyway. He for years, like in his teens and 20s, if you were just like sitting with him having a laugh, he'd just suddenly like get a rush. It'd go flushed, and he'd like go panic, and he'd have to go into the toilet and like wash his face. It was the only thing he'd have to do. He's like, I'm going to die kind of thing, and he'd just have to wash his face in cold water. You'd be like, Brian, what are you doing? And he'd go to the doctors, and she was like, no, it's fine, you're just having a bit of a panic attack or something. And he went like 3 or 4 times, like, this does not feel right, it does not feel normal. I'm just having a laugh, and suddenly I feel like I'm going to die. And then he went back again, and he saw another doctor, and he was like, oh yeah, you've got an extra nerve in, you've got a gap in your nerve to your heart. You need to go to the hospital today and get an operation today, otherwise you might die. It's just one of those things where if it flips, you could all these years it just been just like so he had to get an operation that day.
Yeah,
wow.
That's the thing with my condition. It took a long time to diagnose, because I'd be having it sitting in the waiting room, and then I'd walk into the doctor's office and it'll just disappear. They'd put you on the machines. Like I had the echocardiogram, I had a stress test echocardiogram, and then I had a 24-hour Holter monitor. So you wear it, you do your normal stuff. And because I had fibrillation, but also a flutter, the doctor wasn't so concerned with the fibrillation, but then when they figured out how to flutter was when they're like, okay, definitely got to do something about this, because one of the big issues is I was always worried I was going to have a stroke, because having your blood pool in your heart, even if it's just for a few moments, creates blood clots.
Sounds horrible.
And yeah, so even though it's not a structural issue, which is kind of good in terms of I don't need to have like open heart surgery and things, it is something that used to freak me out. I went overseas a couple of times while I had it, and I was just, when you don't know what the problem is, that's probably the worst thing. Once I figured out, okay, I've got a flutter. I didn't even know what that was. I just that explains why it goes from being pretty crap to absolutely terrible, where I get grey vision, and the most annoying thing was you'd go to the hospital and it'd disappear by the time you get there. So it's kind of like you see like a crazy person splashing your face with water.
The final thing I want to say on this is that we should also point out that doing exercise is extremely good for your heart. It's ridiculously good. Yeah. It's like one of the best things you can possibly do. And we shouldn't be scaremongering. We're not scaremongering. We know that. I remember. Do you remember like someone died during the London Marathon a few years ago? It was like 5 years ago. It was like massive headline news. Someone died during the London Marathon, had a heart attack.
Yeah,
and I
was like thousands of people.
I actually worked out I worked out that day because I was so annoyed by it, because it's like man, dog bites man kind of story, and I worked out that more people died during the London Marathon who weren't, specifically because they weren't running the London Marathon. More people died of heart attacks because they weren't running the London Marathon during the London Marathon than died because they were running the marathon that day. And it's constant. People are dying all the time through heart issues because they don't exercise, and far more than anything that exercise could ever trigger. And those who do die through exercise,
I think
issues probably would have got it.
One of the things is because I was so fit, I could actually not survive, but like when I walked in the door to emergency and I was doing like 270 beats per minute, they looked at me like, how the hell are you standing?
Yeah.
I think the reason why I could do that is actually because I'd done a lot of exercise. So
you're constantly taking your heart into, most people don't know their high heart rate. They don't get anywhere near it.
Yeah. And also just the fact that I was efficient enough with my blood that the minimum amount that I was getting, I was like, okay, I can circulate that around my body. So while cyclists do get, like if you do far too many hours, you can risk getting fibrillation. It's a small percentage of cyclists. It's basically someone who's trying to become a professional cyclist. They're the ones who might need to have a bit of a checkup regarding fibrillation, but then everyone else will get fibrillation through their lives regardless if they do exercise or not. Doing exercise at least lets you know, okay, there's something feels different. If you're sitting on the couch, you probably won't notice you've got fibrillation, whereas if you're riding on Zwifty, you're like, oh, wait a sec, why is my heart rate 190 beats per minute and I haven't even started the race yet?
You know what my wife said to me? She goes,
I love that Zwifty. He seems like an attractive
all the time.
Man.
It's so. She says that all the time. It's crazy. True though, right? She. The Sex and the City movie. Probably both of you know that movie extremely well, right? Well, I don't know if it was a movie or series. I think. Oh, I can't believe I've mentioned this, but anyway.
You're a metropolitan man.
You've gone down the hole.
No. My wife said it. And my wife said it, right? So one of the main characters' partners or husband died whilst fictional. It's all fictional.
Oh, right, yeah.
While cycling, and she goes,
really?
"Oh, Biggs just died. He was doing cycling. Perhaps you shouldn't cycle anymore."
Was he on a Peloton? Because I remember there's something about Peloton.
Yeah. I knew
Peloton shares went down after that too.
And it's like, come on. I mean, even the doctor said to me, he said, because I said to him, look, I was worried about not being able to cycle ever again or do like that sort of thing. And he said, look, even if your heart, there was something wrong with it, we would never say stop exercising.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a shame. Wish my doctor said, just get on the couch, eat donuts and ice cream.
Yeah, please.
So he has revealed in the chat that it was Ian Brown, who's my teammate, who had the issue this week, and so he's gone into it. And the doctor said the same to him, other than it was like, oh, maybe if you're racing, don't go flat out. And Ian was like, you don't know what racing is. I think you're either racing or you're not. You can't just not go flat out. What are you talking about?
That'll ruin my ZRS score and I'll be a sandbagger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everyone would be. I'd rather die than be called a sandbagger. I didn't mean it.
That should be a sticker.
Right, where's the list? Oh, wait. Oh man, we're only 3 down the list and there's 9 to go.
You said this show wouldn't last 3 hours tonight.
I'm sorry, Ollie. I'm sorry.
What's the next on the list? Go.
The next on the list is an easy one. Easy. Event culling. So James Bailey is doing his event culling. Apparently 25% of events are going in. I think the only maybe controversial bit is that they're getting rid of the hill climbs and the TTs from the Zwift calendar. I think they think that they have,
all of them.
Yeah, the hill climb events and the TTs.
I hate both of those, so I don't mind getting rid of it. But for other people,
I've never done one of them, but I always intended to. I was like, one day I'll do one of those. But they've gotten like a sort of a cult community, should I say? Yeah, they are Twitters. So cult community who like the TTTs. They're not hurting anyone. Just let them do their TTs. They're hill climbers. They're not hurting anyone. Just let them do
Strange time of the year to do it as well, isn't it? Like coming into peak season kind of thing. You'd think they might have done it, in summer. Well, sorry.
Well, I suppose
Southern
they
Hemisphere,
would say,
but,
we're in December and still no.
They should have done it in winter time.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
They did it last year. I think it was a little bit later on, as you say. I think it was in more of the off season. But I've done a TT once for when I was doing like a caffeine trial thing. As you say, there's like a diehard community of just TTs who are on Zwift. So I'm surprised that they're targeting that. There's a lot of other events I can get rid of. Most of them are just boring races that have 3 people on Rob in them. They can get rid of.
No, they're my best ones. I've won like 190 of them.
Rob, you should have your own. You should have your own series at 4 o'clock in the morning and 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Well, actually, when the event called last time, they got rid of the 5 a.m. one. I was like, oh, that's my best one. When I win the most, because nobody else is there. But they put it back.
So it's a personal attack on you, Rob.
Yeah.
All right, next on the list. Go.
Right. List. Oh, this might take a little while actually. Why doesn't my bloody thing work? I spent so long putting my stream deck together. I'm pressing the 3 button and it's not doing anything. Oh, it's because the app's closed. Why is the app closed? Oh, bloody hell. I'm not gonna. Come on. Oh, stupid thing. It's not working. Right. We'll talk about. Everyone, just talk amongst yourselves for a second because I'm going to have to.
Yeah, I'm literally trying to remember what was next on the list.
Right.
Rob sent you the list. Never sends me anything.
FRR.
FRR's way down the list.
Okay.
We're only on number 5 now.
Tour de Zwift. When's it start?
Tour de Zwift. I love Tour de Zwift generally.
This is a good montage because this is why no one races any other events because the Tour of Watopia and Tour de Zwift.
Oh, now are you both audible?
I think so. I can hear you.
I wonder if the internet can still hear me because I can't. Oh yeah, there I am. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Oh bloody hell, it's long, isn't it? 6 weeks. Go on, Ben. You were talking. Carry on talking.
Yeah. So. Yeah, this is the issue. Like they've got rid of the fondos. Like one of the things about racing on Zwift, especially in wintertime, is doing the long rides, especially on a Saturday or a Sunday. You get on a fondo and you do 100 kilometers or whatever it is, because most of the time they finish at the top of a hill. But they got rid of the fondos. I don't need a 20-kilometer race. Give me my fondos back. Bugger Tour de Zwift. It's probably because I don't care about XP anymore. I'm like, I'm level 80 something. I've lost interest in building up XP.
Oh, I never did a Fondo, I don't think. I tried to do, I tell you what, I
You'd
tried
never-
to do one. And
You've never
they
done a
put me on the
Fondo?
wrong route. They put me on the wrong route. So I was like, I tried to do the Medio Fondo or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be the long one. Can't bother. Okay.
When
so
did it turn you the wrong direction? At the beginning or near the end?
Yeah, he apologised, James, but it was the only mistake he made, and I happened to be on it. Yeah, so first week, rolling start, so there's rolling courses. The London Flat is a new route, apparently. So that that one is you start and end on Tower Bridge. New finish line on Tower Bridge.
At least they didn't call that London Greatest Flat Greater.
Why did he always... Oh my
There's so
god!
many of those, isn't there?
Why-
London
what
Loop,
the hell
London's
is going
greatest
on?
loop.
The best part is when like my teammates do recons and they do the recon of the wrong course.
I mean,
Yeah, 'cause it's London-
completely understandable on London.
There's Greater London Loop, isn't there? And then there's Greatest London Loop. It's like,
Yeah.
what's the difference?
Greatest London flat they'll have next. London flattest, the flattest London great. Yo, what the hell? Why have they all got to contain London? It's like, how many boroughs are there in London? You can have any number of. It's one of the most historic cities in the world. It's got landmarks left, right, and centre. Why is it all London Greater or London Flatter? Bloody hell, man!
What would you call the London Flat course instead?
Oh, I would call it Tower Opening. Tower Opening. There you
What
go.
like Piccadilly Express or something?
Because it goes past Windsor, I would say, the Windsor Express, the Windsor. I don't know.
Yeah, make it sound a bit more interesting than just London.
Yeah, I know.
When I think of London, I just think of the greyness of those courses.
Yeah, I know.
Add a bit of colour to the name.
Why did it always make it raining as well? I don't need rain in the game. I don't need rain in the game at all. I could let
Give us
alone-
blue skies, white clouds.
Yeah, stop reminding people that London's so bloody rainy. Right, so that's the first week, rolling stuff. Oh, it's got the muckle. Oh no, yeah, it's got the mucky Yane, Mikuri 40, London Flat. Cool. Second
Rob.
week looks bloody horrible.
Rob.
Oh yeah.
Rob,
Yes. Sorry, Ollie.
Scotland, the Muckle Yin,
Yeah.
is definitely my least favourite Zwift world.
Rob's like, yeah, we're going to talk about how great this is. This is going to be great. Rob's like, that was rubbish.
Yeah, I think that's where we differ, isn't it? Because I'm 3 to 5 minute power. That's I kind of like that sort of stuff. The climbs, and then of course the Zwifty maneuver at the end. They brought out a new course, which we'll discuss very soon. Oh yeah, it's in week 2. So week 2 has got the snowman. I've never done that. Looks too climby. Temples and towers. Don't like that. Bit too climby. And then they've got Outer Scotland, which is a how do I switch? How do I move to the next slide? Outer Scotland. I should have put
It's basically the Scotland Flat.
Yeah, it's all the flat Scotland stuff. But unfortunately, it doesn't start at the high pens. I like them when they start at the high pens because you could actually just go for a breakaway. Right
I'll start down. Yeah, it's one of the best starts is just going downhill in Scotland. A bit like Mercury Islands when you go right out of the pens.
Did you see
near
the one
village.
Did you see the one where I did a breakaway from the start on the Rolling Highlands?
No, I don't watch your streams, Rob.
Oh, okay. Because I am rubbish, but and I was against one of the best. I was against one of the best riders in BCAT. He wins everything in BCAT, and then has a mysterious turn of form at the weekend where he does 9 tiny races and comes last. So he wins all week, and then comes last in the
And
tiny races.
gets his
of the
best
weekend.
bang for his buck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not exaggerating. He wins everything, and so we were in the Rolling Highlands. Starts out at the start, and everyone's going like, fairly gentle towards the hill, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll sprint. So I sprinted away down the hill, doing my resting thing on the descent. When it flattens off, going a bit harder. By the time I got to the bottom, I had 15 seconds on them. And then, I did my, cutting the corners thing. By the time I got to the top of the first hill, I had 40 seconds on them. And Lado rage quit. He was like, "Oh, this looks weird." And he rage quit. And I beat him all. Breakaway, right. I broke away right before the pens, before the lead, not before the lead-in.
That's
Before
that's
we
my
even left the
least
pens.
favorite. Yeah, that's my least favorite breakaway, Rob, because you got to spend the whole race by yourself. Why don't you go and do an individual time trial?
I know. I was just talking about I remember as well. Just before I did the race, I was like, all these races, there's no one in them. There's stupid A cap races. I don't want to be an A. There's no one in the A races. And then I goes and does a B race. Did it all on my own the entire time, and then got promoted.
You
up into A
antisocial.
again.
Rob, sometimes when you do that little breakaway,
Little.
and I see
It was 19 kilometers.
that's a figure of speech, damn you. Sometimes when you do those, right, and you put out some serious watts, and then you just hold those watts for ages, and I'm like, it almost makes me feel sick just watching. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know how he does it. I honestly don't know how you do
I
it.
really don't.
Honestly.
I don't put out serious watts for ages. That's what I don't do. I can only do little. It has to be on a rolling course, because if I hold the same watts like you were doing on that mountain, like 300 watts, 300 watts, 300 watts, I can't do it. My legs just give me stabbing pains. Like stop doing the same thing over and over again. And I just
What's
can't
your
do it.
technique,
But little
Rob?
rolling.
Do you watch the pack behind, or you just ignore the pack?
Yeah, just the train. I try and go hard at the start, just to make it unbridgeable and look stupid. It's like, oh, he'll never last. He'll never go. So I go a bit hard, and then I'm like, oh, by the time they've worked it out, I'm like, oh, I've got such a big lead. It's pointless chasing, and then I die after that. And hope I've got enough. I want to do a video about that over the holidays if I've got time, but I might have to spend some time with my children and stuff.
All right, crack on the whip. What's anything else we need to talk about Tour de Zwift?
Oh, Ben, you're so good.
Yeah, Ben, you are good. Yeah.
I should be organising this podcast, but yeah, I'm glad you're here.
You can do all the technical stuff. I'll just tell you to hurry up.
Okay, cheers. And then
Come on, break away.
Cruisy ones, so that not too hard. There is a quiz question about this, so you might want to listen. And then the climbing
crap.
ones, rubbish. Lorraine, Lucha, Petit de Rouleur. That's a new one. That's twice up the Petit Col. It's just like room uphill, but backwards, really, isn't it? Is it? I suppose.
No, that's like the little. It's the little loop, isn't it? That's not the whole loop. It's like the little.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Good point. Yeah.
That would be interesting. That one. I think that would be quite a cool one to do.
Quite short. Yeah.
Finishing on the climb makes a big difference.
Yeah.
too.
There's not enough mountaintop finishes in general, are there?
No.
There's plenty.
Depending on where you are in your category. Right. Okay. So, is that Tour de Zwift? Is there anything more to say on Tour de Zwift?
So do you get extra XP and is it kits?
Oh, damn it! I knew I meant to research stuff. I should know stuff. I should know this sort of thing, Ben.
Surely it's double XP. That's like the standard thing. And usually the power-ups are double as long.
Yeah.
It always gets me. I'm like, I'm going to press my feather now, and then I got the feather on the downhill too for another 20 seconds.
Isn't that only on the Tour of Watopia?
I don't know. It just feels like it's on every tour. Why would you not just put the same thing for Tour de Zwift? It's the biggest. Tour Watopia is like it's just part of it, whereas Tour de Zwift is the whole thing. It's the number one show.
Right, and so the last one is on the February the 16th, and there's a makeup week on from February the 17th to the 23rd, but that doesn't count if, for instance, you were answering a quiz question about this.
Okay. So there's 3 stages.
What do you mean there's 3 stages?
So that everyone gets a question wrong, so I can go up a level.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Right. Then. Right. Next on the list. ZRL Route Competition. So the tier drink Vecan, 3 little climbs, as I should have said that it was called in Welsh. It's the best route of this season, I think. Although I know we haven't done it yet, but it is a cracking little route, isn't it? I think. Are you doing ZRL, Ollie?
No, I'm in my next phase of training.
Oh, okay.
For FRR.
Right.
That's the next one for me.
So virtually no one who's been on this podcast has done ZRL. So we mainly talk about ZRL. I do ZRL recons. No one does it. No one.
They're good though. They are good recons. So
good. Bloody awesome. I spent
the
a
best.
weekend doing that one. Anyway, right. So there are 3 courses again up for the vote. This is the leading contender. By the way, everything I say on this podcast was true on Wednesday. It might not be true today, but it was true on Wednesday because that's when I do the copy paste thing and get all my information. So the number 1 choice is Danger Noodle, which is it's a great name besides anything else. So you go round the S's twice. You go up the what's it called? Titans twice, and then you finish in the desert. Is it? No, downtown Watopia. Finish in downtown Watopia. That's it's a good route. It'd be great for me. I mean, they are the most. They're the most like efficiency. This is an experienced Zwifters course because you can gain so much on these. Both of them, the rollies. God, the amount of energy you can save on these by, just modulating your effort is absolutely phenomenal. It's the ideal course for an efficient rider, I would say.
Is it just a points finish or is it a points race?
They're always scratch races. The one.
Yeah, that's right. The ZRL's not. They've moved away from points races entirely, haven't they?
I know. Like even the scratch races, even the points races are scratch races now.
Yeah. I used to love going through downtown Titans. I actually had a really good run in ZRL where I get the top fastest through sector just because of the fact that I used to hang back on reverse Titans climb. Yeah. But I'm kind of getting sick of having it in the courses. I'd actually not vote for this, depending on what the other courses are.
You haven't got much choice.
Yes, they've all got Titans.
There was a time where it felt like every other race was Titans in ZRL.
They didn't. I don't think they did it last season. I don't think they.
No,
I didn't do last. Well, actually, I did a couple of races for last season for Evo, but
so they haven't overdone Titans this year. The year before, I think it was in like 8 of the 18 or something like that. It was in a lot last year.
Have they done Deca Dash yet in ZRL this season?
No, they better play Ireland as well. The Deca Dash, like 10 loops.
Well, not the actual. No, well, not the Deca Dash, but the original.
Oh, the
Jarvis Island.
No,
I'm surprised I haven't put Jarvis Island because I thought for sure when they include Jarvis Island, we'll be racing every single race. We have Jarvis Island in the course.
They haven't included it at all. Weird. Utter weirdness. And there's some great courses that they've got included in it. Like just a couple of loops of it or one loop of it and then the volcano or something like that. Come on. Anyway, so that's that one. Next one is Ooh La La, which unsurprisingly is in the French in the France world. And this one's kind of moderately interesting in that
you can tell the Americans were naming like, what are we going to call a French course?
So it's sort of like Is it RGV that starts off on the rollers, or is it Duce? I can't remember. Is it Duce that starts off on the rollers? And then anyway,
Yes. Yes.
one of those.
one of them does. One of them definitely does. It starts off on the rollers, then you go up the the nice way. This is the good way to go up the column, where you do left and you'll feel bereft, and right and you'll be all right. And so you go left, right, and the one way is easy and one way is hard. And then you go down, wee, and then flap it, and then you finish on the aqueduct. Isn't that moderately interesting?
Is it actually at the banner? Because there's some famous finishes, the custom finishes, where they're supposed to finish on the aqueduct and you finish it behind early or late. Mind you, I think it's more for FRR rather than CRL.
Yeah, I think they'll have the inside.
It must be the banner.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the times when you do the ZRL, we had a custom finish in that ZRL race and it's supposed to finish next to the ocean. We had to go for another kilometre.
Right.
Yeah, now, so what's the other one? Because that's rubbish, that one, to me.
I don't like France.
I'm so bored. Yeah, France is boring as hell.
Yeah. The final one
Titans.
is quite like the first one, other than it's got something a bit new. It's not really new, actually, is it? It's got the
that's a great start. I love the start.
Bends, and then you go, woo, down to the S's, though. I can't work that out. How's that work?
That's a perfect course for people like me who forget to warm up. You get into the pen.
I mean, the heavy people might go for it, but you never get away, do you? You never get away on the descent.
No, but it's a neutral start, except for those who forget to get out of the pen.
Yeah. So down to the S's. I'm going to make that bigger because I can't read it. Cul-de-sac of Saddle Springs roundabout. What the hell's that about? What?
Yeah, you know where you under that. There's that big floating guard in the sky.
Okay, yeah. Okay, right. Yeah. So you go down, and is that the S's twice? Looks different. It doesn't look like a mirror image of each other.
No, it's the other way around. Like you go the opposite direction.
Okay. And then you do Titans, and then Titans. And then you visited the desert. Also, no, in his link, he had to pause at the end at the cul-de-sac as he missed the route, but quickly fixed it. Oh, well done. And if you have any questions, let him know. I haven't got any questions. Which one would you vote for, Ollie?
Probably this one, Titans turnaround.
Yeah.
I think so.
About it?
Tempest, Fugit, area, desert. I like that. Nice and flat. Lots of rest.
I tell you what, you should, if you can master these rollers, I think it's the final part of your training to become a Jedi Master. Is master the rollers, and I shall give you a lightsaber. Yeah, it's just that you've just got to relax, get into that rhythm, on and off, on and off.
It does frustrate me when I get it. I get annoyed when I do get it wrong, though, Rob. You're like, oh, this is flying so well, and all of a sudden you lose the momentum. You're like, oh, God damn it. Yeah. Now I've got to put 200 more watts.
Yeah, I'm an expert at this.
But I'd vote for that course. I don't know why the other one's winning, because this is, to me, as I said, I love neutral starts. One of the great things I love about Training Peaks Virtual is you can put in like a 3 or 4 kilometer neutral start. Yeah,
I don't like that. If I wanted a neutral start, I don't understand it. Like, why not just ride around?
What would you do if you want a neutral start, Rob?
Just ride around on my own for a bit and then go and join a race. I don't understand. What's the advantage of a neutral start?
Well, because you got to get organised. I'm not organised. I'm usually like, oh, Jesus, got to go and get my bib shots. Oh, I forgot my heart rate monitor. Oh, no, I forgot my towel.
What, so you want other people to have to fanny about for 5 minutes just because you're unorganised?
Yeah, no, they're not fanning about. They got 5 minutes less time. They don't have to worry about signing in for another 10 minutes. They can just do a warm up like me on the descent.
You still have to sign in.
They got to sign in, but they can start the race. They don't have to do the warm up. They can be like me, save themselves 10 minutes. It's all about efficiency, Rob.
No, it's not. It's anti-efficient.
It's just like it's just a soft, it's a soft pedaling
today,
into the race.
I got online like 1 minute before my race. I was ready to go, and I did a breakaway on the first hill. Like, come on. Why is all this warming up about?
Because warming up makes you much better, Rob. You imagine how much better you'll be warmed up.
No, it doesn't. It makes you worse. Just gets you tired. I don't understand it. Anyway, right.
Next.
List is weight doping. Who likes weight doping?
Me.
Not me. So
what's this context?
Yeah, do you want to crack us off? I keep saying crack us off. I don't like that phrase at all. Do you want to start us off, Ollie?
Kick us off on some weight doping there, Ollie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've done a couple of videos on weight doping before, and it is kind of controversial because I do get that there are people out there that don't really fluctuate their weight too much. I completely understand that.
Don't say that. That's a lie. Everyone's weight fluctuates. They eat, they drink, That's just not true. Everyone's weight fluctuates, and I just don't. I don't believe people who say my weight doesn't fluctuate. I know my weight, can remain relatively constant over a few months, but it does fluctuate. It's not constant. Sorry, carry on. Sorry.
Okay. So back to what I was.
Sorry, Ollie. Sorry.
That's right.
Crack on again.
No. So I was just trying to be balanced in terms of the for and against, but I really would love Zwift just to put a little note at the start of a race, or even in the description that says, please update your weight before your race, or a little pop-up, just like sometimes the heart rate monitor, if you're required to race with a heart rate monitor, it comes up, you're unable to race unless you pair a heart rate monitor pair here. Just needs to be that says, please update your weight, do it now. I mean, literally, it will take me, like a minute to go and weigh myself, jump back on the bike and, done. Because I think then it'll make people choose to actually decide not to do that, to kind of cheat as such.
Would you do this when you're entering the pens or when you're signing up for the event?
I don't know. I've not really thought it through, but I don't know. Just
anything, just something.
Yeah, just something before. And also, especially in ZRL, I just think team managers just need to get on the whole, if you're in our team, just make sure you've updated your weight before every race. I don't know. It's the whole thing of not cheating yourself at the end of the day, isn't it? And if people want
not cheating me, it's about me being beaten by people who are obviously weight doping. That's the thing. I'm not cheating yourself. Plenty of people cheat themselves, but it is. They're just cheating me. They're cheating me. I know how bloody good I am when I'm 75 kilograms. I am pretty bloody awesome in BCAT when I'm 75.
Should it be like this, Rob? I reckon that it's like a password. Every 3 weeks it says you got to enter a new weight and you can't enter the same weight you had previously. So you guys okay?
It wouldn't matter. I mean, studies after study has shown that if you can passively cheat, lots of people would do it. The majority of people will passively cheat if they can passively cheat. Just continually do something that's in the background, like not updating their weight. But if you have to actively cheat, you have to say, yes, my weight is correct, or no, it hasn't changed, or something. If you have to click a button to say, my weight hasn't changed, then people won't, that'll get rid of 75% of it. People who haven't updated their weight in 4 years. 4 years?
That is quite a long time, yeah.
I can see where you're coming from, but can you imagine, remember a few years ago where they hid the weight from Zwift Power? And it was because of the issue, as Arctic Zwifter said, that Zwift should never actually nag you about your weight because people do have issues with that.
It's not, it's not nagging, it's just asking.
It's a key factor though, isn't it? When you race, it all determines how fast like you go, if you're in the pack and all that sort of thing. The other thing that you could do, right?
What is your weight? Not like,
but
just what is your weight for this race?
But the other thing that they could do is like, I don't know. I do have an Xbox. I do occasionally play on Call of Duty. Okay, occasionally. There are ranked games, which means that they're like official, kind of games, if that makes sense. My point is, but perhaps Zwift should have like a ranked and an unranked, where if you don't really care about that sort of thing, you just want to race because you just want to race, do that. But then there's this other kind of like more official, like probably ZRL should be, but isn't.
I don't want to harp on, but Training Peaks Virtual has that. It does. You can do unranked and ranked events.
Oh, and is the unranked events just like the Wild West? You just do whatever you
like. Most people do unranked because they just want to like.
Exactly.
They just want to do
Yeah.
Because but is it they don't want to? Is it cheating left, right, and centre, or?
Well, training with, I think you can still put on like trainer only and things like that, but Zwift is a Wild West. Let's just face it like this. Doesn't matter if you're doing ZRL or not. There is people who don't change their weight for 2 years, and fair enough, they may be pretty stable, but at the same time, you haven't changed your weight for 2 years. It's probably not accurate. It's most likely that your ideal weight that you once were.
Yeah.
But it's a very touchy subject because for most people, it can pop up before the race. Is this your true weight? Even if you got a tick box saying, yes, I confirm this is my real weight. But there is that subset of people who it will make damage, do a lot of damage to them because of eating disorders and things. And like, I'm very hesitant to get fully, like I love dual recording and things, but with weight, I'm very hesitant in this space to be banging on about it.
I don't want to bang on about it, but it is a fact. It's the behind.
It's a key performance thing. Like if you
key indicator of what happens in the race. You just can't.
If you're 50 kilos, it's so much easier than if you're 100 kilos. So it is the easiest way to cheat. It is 100%. Like this is why I like to have, to be able to go to a Zwift center and get verified with your weight properly. Yeah. But at the same time, I know that there was a time when Zwift tried to remove the weight from Zwift Power because they were getting feedback from women's racers that were showing that it actually was negatively affecting the community. But there was obviously a lot of blowback from that where they actually put the weight back into Zwift Power. So, yeah,
I accept it.
As Ollie said at the very beginning, there's many facets to this.
But you've got to also accept the other side as well, and that the main issue in Western societies is people weighing too much. And if we're incentivizing people to be heavier, which category enforcement was, it was really incentivizing people to be heavier. If you wanted to win races, the way to do it was to be heavier. And you get more power. If you got more power on the pedals if you're heavier. It's just a fact. And if you get an advantage from that, then we're also incentivizing people getting heavier as well. And that's
a good thing about having Zwift racing score is you get rid of the 100 kilogram climbers winning races. Yeah.
Some people might not know though, because when I first started on Zwift, I'd put my weight in and I didn't know. You just don't. It's not like you get on Zwift and you just immediately go, "Oh, I should definitely do that every time." It's just like a gentle reminder that it does, improve performance. It might improve for some people and it might make it worse for others. So it's just, I don't know. Maybe the ranked races might work, maybe not. People can do what they want at the end of the day, but
or even would you like to change your weight once a month? Just
language definitely.
First race that you do of a month, it says, "Would you like to update your weight?"
Yeah, language definitely matters. Rather than saying, have you lost weight, have you gained weight, to sort of say, "Oh, we need to update your details." Can you put in and then make more than just weight? Put in, say, can you confirm these details? And then when you get to the weight, it's basically make your weight not actually entered. So you can't just go, okay, yeah, that's my weight every single time. Just have it as nothing. So you actually got to fill in a weight. Okay, this is my weight now. Because there is times when I jump into a race. As I said, I don't get a chance to warm up. I can't get off the bike and go away myself and come back again. So, yeah, I think it's a space that needs something to look at in terms of if you want to make other people. Like there are people complaining about weight the whole time, but it's also very tread softly.
For instance, if when some, when I used to be good and win lots of races, and people used to accuse me of cheating, I almost miss being accused of being a cheat. No one's accused me of cheating for ages.
You're obviously crap now, Rob.
So when people used to accuse me of cheating.
Yeah. And you go to their profile and they haven't changed their weight for 3 years.
I'd look, because the people who accuse you of cheating are almost always the cheats. Because they think of cheating. Oh, he's winning, so he must be cheating. Because when I win, I cheat. So it's like the jealous boyfriends, isn't it? They're always the cheaters. So the thing I say to them is, okay, should we do a live weigh-in after the race? Me and you. And I've never once had anyone willing to do a weigh-in after a race, because they're always, they haven't updated their weight for 3 years. It's always them. It's always them. And
I always wanted to get one of this. Yeah, I always want to get one of the scales where you jump on it and then it sends the information to your accounts. But the big worry that I have is I jump on it, but then someone else jumps on it. So you're accidentally cheating without realizing that you're cheating. Because I don't go look.
Your wife
I don't
goes
look
and
at my
weighs
weight.
herself on your scale.
Your cat jumps on your scales.
3.2 kilograms.
It reminds me
I think
when
my
Chris
cat would weigh more
Pritchard.
than me. What a fat horror he is. He's like,
I don't know if you watched, but Chris Pritchard many years ago was cheating on the descent. He did Mount Ventop and then put 3,000 kilograms so he could fly down the descent, and then he forgot and he entered a race. He's like, why am I not going anywhere? He's pedaling like hell. He's doing 0.2 watts per kilogram.
What's happened to Chris? Where's he gone?
That's a good segment, actually. Yeah, we're YouTubers that have gone missing in
Cadman?
Chris
gone?
Yeah, Cadman. Yeah, I don't know where he is.
Oh, come on, Cadman.
I think Cameron Jeffers basically went on and did Call of Duty. Chris Pritchard, I've seen that he was doing more in real life, because he was always a host. That's why I say personal, because he
YouTube at all. No. I think occasionally does that bike thing, like free bike or something.
Yeah, maybe they just got their money. He did put his Christmas song up again for there was the lockdown Christmas song that he puts up every year. What is it? Barking back to you.
Oh, was that? Yeah. Oh, we're on the final thing to talk about. We've done 9. We've done 8 of 9. We're racing through them now.
What is it? Is it Chris Pritchard?
FRR. So, Ollie, you've both FRR veterans on.
I'm going to try and do it this time again.
Ollie, you doing it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's my next little challenge. I skipped because they've done 2 so far, haven't they? France and Britannia, I think they've done.
What do you mean?
And I've done. No, those are the 2 that have already been and gone.
What, this year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They've done Tour France. So I wanted to do the Tour Watopia, I believe it is called. So yeah, I don't know. I just think they're a massive challenge, aren't they? And I just love getting to the end of them. I've not got massive high hopes when it comes to winning anything, but I may go for the sprint jersey this time round. I've crept into the category above, though. In fact, actually, it's been done differently this time. I think they're judging it based on the first 2 races, which I think is going to be really good, which category people go in.
Right. So I do have a link to that, but it's somehow. Oh no, I've put in the URL twice. My Windows F thing doesn't work as well as I hoped it might.
And FRR is I always get sent to the old page rather than the new page as well when I get to FRR.
So I think it was down here. So I don't know if you know it inside out or anything, but there was a bit about categorization, classification.
I did read about it after the last tour. They're going to change it because the big issue is obviously people not being categorized correctly. So they use a ZRS and ELO system this time because
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I-
So it's this
I know-
classification process. So it's like you do 2 classification races or something like that?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the first 2 stages, I think they take they take everyone and they'll then categorize everyone based on their actual times, I believe, which is a little bit different to what we've seen before. Should be interesting.
Quick, press the Garmin. Press the Garmin. Rob, you
Yeah.
okay?
Rob, breathe.
Yeah, our teammates talk about this, and the problem is we laugh too much when we hear our teammates dying. We're like, I wonder if our teammates will be dead. We're just still giggling away.
So yeah, you do the 2 classification events, but they count towards the actual
Yeah,
results as well. So you've got to try, and they'll just have a cut-off level where they'll say, okay, these people, you've done too well, you're going up. Seems fair enough to me.
should be good
Is
fun.
that a fair
Yeah.
summary?
I think so. But I like doing these. I like doing any events where it's different than usual Zwift. So that's why I've always enjoyed doing the FRR because they try and classify things differently. I hope one day that I'll be at the top of my category.
Yeah. You'll never beat the sandbaggers. Sandbaggers are so clever. They're just.
I went for the sprint category last time. I think it's probably, in terms of if you're doing this as your first event, it's probably the best way to go because you can, you can basically ride some of the events easier, like the individual time trials and things. Although I still rode it pretty hard, but you're not absolutely killing yourself every single stage to try and make sure you don't lose precious seconds. So I think the sprint jersey, it's still hard. It's very difficult trying to sprint every single, well, not every stage, but a lot of the stages. But it's a good way to get yourself into these sort of longer events.
Oh, well, this has confused me now. So it's the 30th to the 12th of Jan, 8 stages. Classification is from the 30th to the 3rd. Assessment is the 4th and 5th. And then it features on the 12th. Oh, I should have got Rich on. I don't understand. But these are the courses. So first one is Bologna, classic, kind of prologue stage, ITT, horrible, obviously. Royal Pump Room, punchy little thing. Scratch race. Third one, out and back again. Oh, the first ever race I ever did. So that's.
Was that really the first race you ever did? It was an out and back.
Oh, is that different?
What?
Is out and back different to out and back again?
No, just saying, was that your first ever race on a course? Was out and back again?
I believe so, yeah. Is that
I don't remember what mine was. I can't. No, just wondering what the course, because I was actually, I don't even think about what mine might have been Crit City.
Yeah, classic. Der Drink for Verkan. It's gone for the new course. Great stuff. Nice one. And that's a proper race as well. Navigate. Oh, that's bloody horrible, isn't it? Oh, flat.
What I
flat.
dislike
Actually,
about-
it's not- flat, and then
What I just like about a lot of these graphs is that they look all very similar, but you got to make sure you look at the meters on the left hand
scale.
side.
The scale makes all the difference, doesn't it? Yeah, that grade is that the grade reverse or the grade that you go up there? Whatever, it's horrible. Then Tides and Temples, so that's an ITT. What's that one? Is that the Temple KM? Oh no, it's in Watopia. So that's the grade reverse. That's the grade reverse. More grade. You're going up the grade one time, up a grade again. And it's an ITT. Horrible. It's a party. Oof. oh. So that's the epic at the start. Oh, it looks tiny, doesn't it, on that scale?
Yeah.
And
Then you got the Queen stage. The Queen stage is always makes me sweat just thinking about it.
oh, you'll be looking forward to this, are you, Ollie? For 6 horsemen. What happened
No,
last time?
thank you. Oh, I completely I cracked on the Alp. I literally could do, I don't know, it was like just over 1 watt a kilogram or something. It was just awful. And it was the worst time I've ever had on a bike anywhere. It was just horrible.
You think
yeah.
you bonked or something? Like, was it just lack of fueling?
Well, the day before we had to go up Ventop and then a little bit down, and I actually won that stage. So I think I went too hard the day before and then just popped. Yeah, I don't know whether it was just lack of food or whatever, but I got to the bottom of the Alp and I was like, this is going to take me such a long time. I almost quit halfway up, but I think I was second in the standings up to that point. And then I lost on that stage, I think 17 minutes. So it was just heartbreak.
That's what I love about, like, good fun doing single stages, but when you do multi-stage events, I really love it because it forces you to go into places that you don't normally go.
Oh, it's just awful. It was awful. So yeah, looking forward to do that one again.
But what if you were good?
You gonna do this, Rob? You gonna do it? Can we get you into it?
Come on, Rob, you can domestic for that one, can you? Yeah.
Oh, actually, I'm getting my toes done on that day, Sunday the 12th, unfortunately.
Yeah?
Yeah, special pedicure on Sunday the 12th.
I think you need your nose done.
Good.
Rob.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's getting longer.
But I mean, this is the great thing about FRR, isn't it? It's like, it's an utter, it's a proper test of, endurance and, everything.
I don't know if I don't know if I'd hate which one is the worst, because you got the 21 or 22 day one. I don't know whether I prefer the shorter or the longer ones, because sometimes you feel like,
obviously
Shorter.
well, I'm not sure, because sometimes you feel better. Like when I did a Chasing Yellow, I got to stage 16 and I actually form came back. You sort of go through a lull, whereas last time I did the FRR, I cracked severely on the second last stage, and the last stage I just crawled over. So to me, it felt harder than when I'd done like 22-day stages. I don't know. Yeah, it's
Are you trying to lure me into doing it or something? That just sounds insane.
yeah, it's terrible, Rob. Like you literally take 5 days to recover, Rob. You should do it. But I think, I don't know what it is. Maybe there's more, because you got a bit more rest. Like with this one, how many rest days have you got? Actually, it's more than the last one, isn't it?
I think it's 2, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the last one's only 1 rest day.
Oh, there's not even a flat stage to end. It's not even giving you a flat stage.
There's never a flat stage to end. It's always
on the chumps. I thought
Richard always just Nah, I think that's chasing series. Maybe
Ben,
FRR does it for the 22 stages.
Are you chasing series or FRR? What's your favourite?
I think FRR's probably. Well, I did win the very first chasing series, so I do have that in my heart. But I think FRR is probably a little bit harder. But I could change. The problem with the chasing series is you got chasing pink, chasing yellow, chasing red.
Yeah. I like the chasing. What is it? Chasing Strada Bianchi or whatever. I do that one every year. Love that race. Love it. Always.
Yeah, you got the classics, which I haven't actually done one of the classics yet, but I'm watching Josh Harris do those. That was more fun watching it on the couch. Come on, Rob. Right. You gotta get
the list. We've completed the list. Oh, I'm so happy.
Rob, what about saddles?
Yeah, we haven't done saddles.
God,
no, we've done the list. Let's say we've done the list. That's it.
Let's do saddles. Come on.
No, we've done the list. It's fine.
What saddle do you advise, Ollie?
Well, no, I'd get a bike fit. Is my advice.
I've told Rob this when he's complaining about his knees and stuff, and Rob's like, I don't need a bike fit.
Get a bike fit.
My knees hurt because I haven't got a meniscus on my right knee. That's the main
Yeah, but the
reason.
bike fit's going to help with that. It's going to because they're going
It's
to
a
go.
car.
Okay, you got
It's not
a bad
big
knee.
bike fit. It's a conglomeration. Like, oh, just
Yeah, those bike
no one
fitters,
ever
those
used to
bike
get
fitting
bike fit.
corporations.
Yeah, they're all just get on the bike. I don't understand. I don't understand it anyway. Okay,
Because you haven't had a bike fit, Rob. That's why I don't understand.
maybe.
Yeah.
Right. I tell you what. Okay. I will go serious because when I first got on Zwift, I had serious problems. Like, because I was addicted to it right from the start. You know, doing 100-kilometer races within a group rides. I used to do group rides. You know, of the Swedish Zwift riders. They're an awesome group, and yeah, I was just on the bike all the time, and I got severe groin numbness because I was crushing my peroneal nerve, and it was a serious problem, and I couldn't have had children. I couldn't have had any more children, for instance, if if I'd wanted to, for instance. But getting a saddle with one of those gaps in the middle just sorted it. That's end of problem. Just like, and I'm not saying this is a solution for everyone, but if you're crushing your peroneal nerve, then I would suggest trying that. Do you have
Agree.
any other saddle-based advice? I know you released a video today. I didn't have time to watch it because I was setting up a bloody podcast. But
It's all right. That's okay. I would say probably. I don't know. It's a bike fit thing. Don't do what I've done and get a load of saddles because it's just I don't know. It's I'd rather would have spent that money on a bike fit in hindsight than bought a load of saddles because then at least I would know exactly what the right saddle for me is. But like the video that I've done, I'm not plugging it or anything like that. But it just
plug away.
No. But it just like of the saddles I've got, I kind of go through what I like and what I maybe dislike about them. But everyone's different, aren't they? Saddles are very individual things. So yeah.
It's also extremely, as you say, it's bike fit. So it depends what you're doing. If you want to do a time trial, you've got a completely different bike saddle setup than if you're sitting upright. I found also the more power I put out is different. So if I'm racing, I can have the saddle in a different tilt than if I'm just pedaling along because all the weight's back on my ass when I'm doing a lot less watts. You're not holding yourself up by your feet. And so that's why bike fit's so important because you can use exactly the same saddle and it can be completely rubbish if it's just in the wrong spot, the wrong angle, too far forward, too far back, or the fact that it's the handlebars in the wrong spot. That changes how everything else works. So, yeah, you can go and buy 100 different saddles, which a lot of people do, but a lot of the time you can just get away with the saddle you've got if you put it in the right bloody spot for what you're
People
doing.
don't buy more than one saddle a year, surely.
No, there's people who just collect saddles. Have you not been in Discord with like people who like collect shoes and collect saddles? They've got 10 different saddles.
In fact, the main thing that distinguishes my Discord group, which you should join, by the way, everyone should join my Discord group. Ollie's not there, but everyone else is.
I'm there.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, you never come in. Is that everyone keeps their shoes for decades? People, it's like a point of principle almost. It's like, I've had my shoes since 1957 and they've done me great. That's what people
I should
say.
grab my shoe.
I've got like Velcro ripped off and
I've got like almost a hole in the front of my shoe now because of the sweat.
Come on, they're barely worn. You've barely worn them in. I would say that.
What do you mean I barely? I can't turn them around. These ones. I'm worried they're going to fall apart on me.
Hold them up, man. Hold them
Well,
up.
you can't. But here,
It's like brand new.
it's getting. Oh, it may be
They
on the
look
camera
brand
because it's
new.
like it's got the
Rubbish.
beautify camera, but just around here, there's a really bad soft spot from all the sweat.
Yeah.
And so I'm worried one day I'll be sprinting along and my whole shoe would just pop open.
Holes in your shoes.
I've had them since 2017.
What?
Wow.
I got mine in. what was it? Well, it was when my first child was born, so that was 2009. 2009 on mine, and they're still great. Okay, there's no Velcro in the middle bits and stuff, but come on, you need to keep shoes should last for decades. Anyway, right, who wants to do a quiz?
Yay!
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 You need to get a button where someone else cheers for us, Rob.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Or better guests.
Oh, guests, yeah. Ben, I can't believe you said that. Well, actually, Ben's a co-host, so is that just aimed at me,
I'm not,
basically?
I'm just like the
status he has got. Actually, it's just like
I'm just like the person that just turns up because I can.
Right.
Ethan is, speaking of which, Ethan has been such a pain in the ass recently. Up until 3 o'clock in the morning, he will not go to sleep. He's just wide awake. Come 10 o'clock in the morning, he's fast asleep. He's like a teenager.
Well, I'm pleased about that because my children didn't sleep, so I don't see why yours should. Ben,
all right, quiz time.
I'm not sure you're in this scene.
I can see myself.
Oh, okay. Sorry, your audio. Ollie, can
I'm
you speak as
speaking.
well?
Hello.
Oh, yes, you're audible. Okay, so if you want to join the quiz, Ollie has kindly agreed to do the punishment ride if he doesn't win the quiz, and nothing's going to happen if he does. Okay? And go to www.kahoot.it or join with the Kahoot ! App. It's the easiest quiz I've ever designed, and I'm going to go to the toilet and give you a chance to join.
All right, where's the?
Oh, Ben, could you talk? Thanks.
I am talking. No, I'm talking. 1 2. So the pin is 1 2 6 111 Better put that in myself. Nickname. That's the thing I always find it hardest is trying to get a good name. But I'm just going to put my name as Ben this time. Everyone comes up with much smarter names than me. Do you think Rob's going to the toilet or is just having a vape? Because he was talking about trying not to vape on camera.
100% he's vaping in me. 100%.
At least we can't hear it.
We've told him, we've asked him not to. We've said,
we've got standards. Yeah, we've got standards on these podcasts.
But Rob just does what he wants at the end of the day, doesn't he? Unbelievable. Right, who have we got in here?
Got Dave, Ruby Kid, Sean, Ben Brown, me, you, 100 RPM. I wonder if that's Roy and Spliff. Spliff. TT mascot. So if anyone didn't watch, Roy did the 100 RPM challenge. I think he said he averaged 102 RPM for the ride, which would have included some of the super tucks. What's your while we're talking about punishment rides, what are you hoping people don't choose so that they choose it?
Say again, what do people what?
Because we're going to do a punishment ride. People have got to choose what to do. Give people ideas.
I really hate just normal races, just can't stand them. So don't.
You really hate rolling around Fago flats.
Don't give me a flat race. Do not do that. Seriously, do not give me a flat race. All right.
Doing the 5 kilometre races are the worst. Maybe we can't even make you do a TT anymore because they get rid of all the TT courses.
Yeah, I said to Rob in the week actually, don't make me category A race might be a bit challenging, but I'll probably win the quiz. So.
Yes, suggestions for what Ollie could do if he doesn't win the quiz. Right, you've had plenty of time to join, so I'm going to start. Is that okay?
Here we go.
Everyone ready?
Let's
go! Oh, I thought we don't have enough singing. So this is Zwiftymas.
What do you mean?
Part 2. We don't have enough singing on the podcast, so if you want to join me in the which route is being described via the medium carol, Climb up high with power steady. Fa la 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 la. Snow switchback's legs are ready. Fa la 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 la. Through the ice the watts are climbing. Fa la 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 la. Summit's near. Oh, I didn't even finish. La 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 la. What? Who got the wrong answer? It was describing the Alpe de Zwift. Snowy switchbacks.
Even I got that right.
Yeah.
Even I was being distracted by Rob's bloody singing. You know.
Yeah.
How come this scene does not encompass enough of the thing? What is it called?
Give us more thing, Rob. I need more thing.
What is the thing? What's that scene? What is that? Okay, right. I want to make that bigger. Oh, come on, get bigger. Oh no. What?
If I was watching a different channel, Rob, I think I'd be, get bigger.
Display capture, right? Get bigger. Oh, come on! Oh, what? Which key do I press to make one element bigger?
Are you trying to enlarge the window size, isn't it?
There we go. There we go. I've done it. Okay, right. Question. Question one. Who won? 100 RPM. Wonder who that is. Oh, it'll be Roy.
I think it's Roy.
Roy did the punishment ride last week, and he averaged over 100 RPM for a race.
Legend.
How is that possible? How is that possible? Dave
He looked pretty buggered while he's doing it.
He did, yeah. When does the Tour de Zwift finish? Is it January the 6th, February the 12th, February the 14th, or February the 16th? Not including the makeup rides, because I missed that bit. It is February the 16th. Well done.
Oh, Ollie.
Not good, I'm afraid.
I thought this was the last question, so I don't know what is the last question now. I've messed things up, obviously, somehow. Dave B! Yay! Dave B and Spliff. Blimey. Leading the way. Question 3, double point. It's all gone crazy. I'm sorry. I'm doing it in the wrong spot. Which Tour de Zwift route has the greatest elevation? Is it Lorraine, Snowman, Tour of Fire and Ice, or the Four Horsemen?
Oh, this is a.
Some of them
I've
might
never ridden
not
Snowman.
be Tour de Zwift routes this year.
I'm going to go with the. I went for the wrong one.
Oh, only one person got it right. Blimey, the Snowman's lower.
I thought it might be like. I don't know what Snowman is, so I thought maybe Snowman was a new king.
I can't remember. I'm never going to do it. It's a bit hilly. So, but it's not as hilly as Lorraine, which is the highest Tour de Zwift route this year. Tour of Fire and Ice isn't included. Neither is the Four Horsemen. Deliberately confuse you. That's the hardest question of the quiz, by the way. So, whoever won that is going to get themselves a decent lead, I would think. Oh, Spliff got it.
Oh, goodness me.
He's going to take some catching. So, that should have been the last question, shouldn't it, really? But let's see how he holds up under the pressure. He or she. What is the only segment in Zwift to contain ice/snow as roll-in surface? Alpe de Zwift, Temple KOM, Radio Tire, or Vent Up? There's a specific roll-in resistance associated with ice/snow, and only one segment has it, and it is the Radio Tower. Well done to 80% of you.
What was the rolling resistance?
It's high, just a little bit.
What's the best wheel combination?
For the Radio Tower is a climbing setup because it is so steep. Right, question 5. Which of these were not a Zwift Xmas feature in 2023? Turkey avatars, Santa flying over Watopia, Christmas jerseys, or Christmas lights? Which was not a feature of Zwift Xmas 2023? Oh, people are really taking their time. They're considering their options. It was turkey avatars. There was no turkeys. But the others, there were. And I think they're all back. I've seen Santa flying over Watopia.
Santa Sleigh.
Yep. Dave B's making up ground. Could be a Dave B victory. But Spliff, big lead. A box of M&S mince pies contains more calories than I would use climbing the Alpe de Zwift in an hour. True or false? A box. Slightly English.
Who's
English centric.
climbing this?
Me.
You.
Oh, no.
Yes, they're about 220 calories, which I don't think is as much as I thought they would be. I thought it'd be like 600 or something. But a box of 6 takes you up to 12, 1300, and apparently I would use 900 calories to climb the Alpe de Zwift in an hour. I thought someone was going to argue with me there. I was like setting myself up.
No, I was like, yeah, you're slow, Rob. You probably would.
Oh, Dave's putting it back. Spliff's. I think Spliff's having a nightmare, isn't he? He's having a bit of a nightmare here.
He's gone out to have a split. It's not it's in the question.
Ben Brown's making ground as well. Ooh, still could be up for grabs. How many miles would you complete if you did the RAF 500 in kilometers? Would you do 305, 310, 315, or 320? What is 500 kilometers in miles? Effectively, is the question. But it is slightly Christmas themed.
What if you didn't do the festive 500? What if you did something else?
If you did something else, then you would do another number. I'm very impressed by people's metric to imperial conversion skills there. It is indeed 310. Is someone sawing the leg off a table? No, okay.
Not me.
Oh, Spliff kept his lead there. Yep, solid performance there. Oh, Combo Breaker is on a drop there onto streak. Oh, sorry, Combo Breaker. Question 8. Which power-up lasts the longest? Is it the Aero, the Burrito, the Ghost, or the Amber?
It's a tough one, actually.
Yeah.
It is the
I
Burrito.
got that one wrong.
I think the others all last 15 seconds.
Favourite power-up.
And the Burrito lasts for 20 seconds.
I was hoping the draft fan would count because I know the draft fan lasts long. I was like, oh, there's no draft fan. God damn it.
But even if I put that like of them all, does the power up? Does the big power? Does the big plus sign last longer? Yeah.
How can a plus sign last longer? It just pops up and then just goes.
It gives you XP forever. It lasts forever, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's.
Yeah. Let's. Oh my God! Dave B is taking the lead. How on earth can we do that? That is an absolute. What a. Phew. Dave Beachy. Oh, Spliff. Come on, man. Get yourself together. Go and have a Mars bar and.
Have a Snickers. You're not you without a Snickers.
Question 9 of 10. What does Ted Rickfar Fecan mean in Welsh? 3 blind mice, 3 little sisters, 3 little climbs, or who the hell voted for this?
I just want to do the last one just because.
It was announced on a recon video. 3 little climbs, it is.
I would have liked 3 blind mice.
Yeah. Someone has given up completely. Oh, Dave. Oh, he's extending his lead into the last round. Come on, Dave. Come on, Spliff. Give him a run for his money. It's all between these two now because I've put the double points one at the wrong place. I'm sorry. So, final question. I have no idea what the final question is. So, we'll go into it. What is next week's Z Racing course? Is it the Muckle Yin, Caspats, Costa Crown Loop, or Break Fast Crits and Grits? All
we didn't
classic
even talk
courses,
about this, did we?
all punchy courses. Oh, quite long. Got it right.
I didn't. I didn't choose Muckle Yin because I know you'd be talking about it if it was.
Are you Spliff, by the way, Ollie?
No, yes, I am. Brilliant. Come on.
That won't do your branding very good.
That's okay. It's not. No, I'm not Poggy. Oh dear.
Right, third place, Ben Brown. Magnificent performance. Second place is Spliff. And the winner is Dave Beachy. Congratulations,
Dave.
man. Well done,
Well done.
Dave.
Good work.
Right.
Oh dear.
So I think Dave gets the first say on what the punishment ride should be. He's a nice man, so he won't give you something too horrible, and we have the power of veto if he does go absolutely crazy. Right, Dave. Would you like to suggest a punishment race for Ollie? Joel LaBelle. Ooh, oh, Joel. Oh, I'm sorry, you lost out there.
Dave won in front of his girls.
Oh,
Had an
wow.
audience.
Wow. I hope that's his daughters. Rather anything more sinister. You did a negative. Steph did a negative split, I think.
Dave says next week's Z race.
Just next week's set race. What?
Ah.
Come on, it's gonna be harder than that. How about he does it? What course is it? What course?
He's
I'm trying to make it
Double
harder.
it.
I'm trying to make it harder.
Double his body weight.
Or halves his body weight. The Great Blind. Oh, blindfold is a good one if you can get someone to do it for you. But right.
What about doing it on like the Buffalo bike or something?
Ooh. What category?
What
What race score are you in at the moment?
350
Oh
to
yeah, on Buffalo bike then.
520.
What course was it?
Have you got the Buffalo bike?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
that'd
don't
be
know
a
if
good
I
one for
have.
you. That'd be good for one for you to
What-
win as well in that category.
What level was the Buffalo bike?
I can't remember.
It
There's
costs
another
loads
bike.
of money, but it costs loads of drops.
Isn't there another equivalent one that they gave us recently?
Yeah,
I've
did you get
got-
the free one, the cruiser? Did you get that or not?
Brr, I don't know. I don't think so.
You'd know if you got it. You'd know.
I got 10 milli. I got 10 milli drops. So I got the cash. I can buy.
You,
I've not spent
I think the
anything. I've not
safety
spent
bikes-
anything.
There's a safety bike. I think the safety bike's the most expensive bike in the game, though. Or it was.
Yeah, use a rubbish bike or use.
Don't
a
go
rubbish-
mountain bike. If you haven't got any of the other ones, you can try
Oh.
gravel bike or just go the steel bike with the original alloy wheels.
Oh, it'd be nice to see you win though. What could we do?
How much is the safety bike, Zwift? Let's see if Google can give us an answer. Come on,
I think the
Google.
Buffalo bike's cheaper.
Oh, it's 3.5 million. I'll buy it. That's fine. I'll do it on the Buffalo bike.
All right, Buffalo bike it is.
I would like to see you win though.
You can use it. You can use any wheels you want with the Buffalo bike too.
Can
So you can
I?
use it.
Any course? You want any course? Or sorry, any race?
Yeah,
so.
any course you want. Yeah, any race you want. Yeah.
So a tiny race winning on the Buffalo
Don't
bike.
do it on the don't do it party. choose one of the races with the three people.
I might jump into one of the Rob specials at 10 o'clock and see if I can win.
4 a.m.
What was
the
it?
time.
What
4 a.m.
was the
to
name?
go
I think try and beat the lady that was doing 2 watts a kilo.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Oh man, yeah, it was so embarrassing. Like watching people try to like go slower than her. It's like, she was just doing her thing. Like, I'm doing my 2 watts a kilo. It was like, I want to come last. No, I want to come last. No, I want to come last. There's 5 of them trying to be last.
That's the thing about when we have such a distorted view about what like 2 watts a kilo is. When Whitney used to get on Zwift, she'd be plugging away at like 1.8, sweating away and stuff. I'm like, oh, keep going, Whitney. Here you go. She'd like do 15 minutes, and yeah, she was buggered. So yeah, it's we probably are a little bit of, I don't know what the phrase is, but we
Well, I
talk
mean,
about people doing 2 watts a kilo, and then yeah, that probably absolutely powering away as hard as they possibly can.
Yeah, like, you know, when you watch Josh's race, it's like, yeah, they didn't go too hard here. They're like 6 watts per kilo for 3 minutes. Yeah, they took it pretty easy up here. I'm like, what? You know, it's all
Well, it's
just
like the
different
A
levels,
races.
isn't
Like
it?
I'm like, oh, we're just chilling, but you're still doing like 4 or 5 watts per kilo. But it's chilling in an A race.
It's just different levels, isn't it? It's just, you know, what you used to. Yeah, I remember when 2 watts per kilo hurt, but no, it doesn't. If you do it enough, doesn't it? And,
Yeah. All right. Anything else we need to talk about?
no, we just need to kill another half an hour, I think.
No, Rob.
No, thanks ever so much for joining, Ben. Thanks for joining, Ollie. It's been absolutely cracking. You've been everything I expected and more.
It's been lovely. Honestly, both you guys, top people. And it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you, legends.
Thanks for having me as well,
Oh, yeah. I did say
the eternal guest. Good to meet you too, Ollie.
And you, Ben.
Yeah. And thank you, legends, for joining. I don't know whether I'm going to do another one next week. I might have a Christmas break. If I don't do another one, then I wish you a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But I might just sneak on and do one anyway. But we'll see. We'll see. Goodbye. Bye.
See you later, everyone.
Bye.
I don't know how to stop streams. How do you stop